What's going on, guys? I know it's been a minute since I've done a trade review. Just wanted to hop on today and talk about the short that I took this morning for about a 90-point winner. So let's hop into market replay and talk about what I was looking at going into this morning. So, based on where we are on the daily chart, last week we swept this sell side liquidity right here and this started to displace back up into the range. But despite displacing back up into the range after sweeping this area of liquidity right here, I wanted to see our reaction at this daily fair value gap. And yesterday we reached this daily fair value gap and we weren't able to continue through it today or displace through it yesterday. So coming into today, I was a little more bearish based on the price action that was happening overnight in pre-market. So if we hop into the market replay for this morning, we can see that on the 15-minute chart, we were consolidating this entire night. And once we got above the midnight open, I wanted to see if we could manipulate up back into this daily fair value gap, also where this 1 hour fair value gap was, and then shift structure to the downside to go and take out these relatively equal lows, because that is the other reason why I was bearish this morning. Yesterday during the sell-off, NQ was not able to reach the New York open low, the New York low, New York session low, and ES was. So we can see right here, ES swept this low and NQ was not. So we had relatively equal lows right here. So even if we did want to displace higher and move back to these highs over here, I believe that first we would sweep these lows on NQ and then move higher. Also, another reasoning for being bearish this morning out of that daily fair value gap is after we swept the low last week, we did have a 4-hour change in the state of delivery, but we did not have any tap of that change in state of delivery. So that to me was saying that we could manipulate down, tap this, and then move higher towards these highs. So with that in mind, coming into today, I noticed that we were consolidating a little bit in the pre-market and also above midnight open. So I wanted to see us at market open manipulate up into this 1 hour fair value gap that was resting inside of the daily fair value gap and then shift structure to the downside. I took 3 trades today. 2 were premature and then 1 was spot on. The 2 that were premature, I'll walk you through those in a minute, but this is just what I want to see if I'm short. This accumulation, this manipulation, and then distribution back to the downside. It's pretty much an A+ setup for me. This is what I look for day in and day out, and it's what helped me really reach profitability to end the year of 2024. But this is an A+ setup for me. But like I said, just 2 premature trades, and then 1 trade that got back all of the losses that I had in the first 2 trades. So we can see that at 8:30, we started to manipulate higher into the 1 hour fair value gap and the daily fair value gap again. And then, so now what I want to see is, I want to see another accumulation to sweep buy side right here on the 5-minute and then shift structure back to the downside. So we can see just before market open, we started to accumulate right underneath this range. And then we tap this, we sweep this buy side liquidity right here, and then we displace back down. So now, this right here, our series of last up close candles will turn into our change in the state of delivery. So now what I want to see is I want to go down onto the 1-minute chart and see the same exact setup that happened on the 5-minute chart. So on the 5-minute chart, we had the accumulation, the manipulation, and then the distribution. So now, on the 1-minute chart, I want to see the same thing. Coming back up into this 5-minute, changing the state of delivery, or this 5-minute fair value gap. So if we play it a little bit more, we can see that we had this 5-minute fair value gap open up, and this change in the state of delivery did not get tapped. So before anything, I want to see either this area get tapped or this area get tapped, and then move lower towards New York low and the London or the Asia low, and then ultimately these relatively equal lows right here. So on the 1 minute, we can see this is where my first trade came into play. My first trade was right here. I tried to get a continuation play. Like I said, a little bit premature. I had a entry right here with a stop loss right here above that fair value gap, targeting the London session low, and that ultimately got stopped out. We went and tapped the change in state of delivery, and I took another premature entry where I took an entry right at the tap of the change in the state of delivery, the 5-minute change in the state of delivery. But because I lost the first trade, I was having my risk a bit too tight. Same target, London low. That eventually got stopped out. Right here is where it got stopped out. My stop was just a bit too tight, got ticked, and then we continued to sell. Now, this is where I believe the A+ setup came in, and this is where I will go over the confirmations that I believe are an A+ setup in my eyes. So we have the bearish bias, we have the 5-minute change in state of delivery, we have the 1-hour fair value gap inside of the daily fair value gap. Price is above midnight open, so if we're short or if we're bearish bias on the day, we want to see price accumulate and manipulate above midnight open or 8:30 open. And then if we are bullish on the day, we want to see price accumulate and manipulate below midnight or 8:30 open. So we have the manipulation and accumulation above midnight open and 8:30 open, and then the relatively equal lows below us. So now that we have a clear draw on liquidity, a clear entry pattern, I'm confident in taking this short. So, and then the other thing that we had was an S&T at these highs right here. So at the time where NQ came and swept these highs, ES was not able to. So we have this S&T right here. So this divergence right here inside of a higher time frame PD array. This is A+ for me. So now the only thing that I need to see is a previous fair value gap getting ran through. So I would like to see this fair value gap right here on the 1 minute get ran through, and then we can take shorts to the London lows. So we got the run through the fair value gap right here, came back up, tapped it, can have an entry at the tap of this inversion fair value gap with a stop above here, target at the London lows. Also, this is during macro where we have the 950 macro open to 1010 window. So I'm just looking for an expansion towards the downside to take out these relatively equal lows as well, from the New York session low that was made on the displacement to the London low that was made overnight. And then we ultimately got a good push through during the 10 o'clock data that released this morning. This setup right here is money to me. We have a model within a model. We have the daily fair value gap. We have multiple fair value gaps, daily, 4-hour, 1 hour, all getting tapped, all getting respected. We have accumulation on the 4-hour. Even on the 1 hour, we have this accumulation, and then we have the good manipulation to the upside before the real move. This is something that I truthfully have been struggling with in the beginning of this year, just waiting for these A+ setups to come. But this right here is just a prime example of what can happen if you wait for your A+ setup, and just have that patience, to not have FOMO and just wait for what you're looking for. One thing that has truly helped me is, and I was talking to somebody else about this as well, is making a pre-market plan and sticking with the pre-market plan. And if the pre-market plan just doesn't work out, you either A, don't take a trade, or B, you take a trade and you lose it, and you know that you went against your plan. Or you could win and just think that you're, chasing or gambling just because the market is moving. So I just wanted to hop on today. I know it's been a while since I've done a trade review for you guys, but I just wanted to hop on and talk about this winner that I had this morning. This trade right here, this winner was a net win of about $2,000, which is my biggest trade ever, which is crazy to think that I'm, now in a position to be making $2,000 trades. But I know that this is hard work. The fruits of my labor are coming true right now, but just continuing to, study and stay patient and wait for these A+ setups and cut out some of these small losses, to achieve even better profitability than I have now. So I hope you guys learned something from this video. I plan on making some sort of like social media page or even opening some sort of Discord for people that are interested in learning how to trade like this. So that kind of stuff will be coming in the new year. I do plan on making more trade reviews like this, more educational content, even some day in the life kind of stuff. So I will talk to you guys next time.